Hello, welcome. My name is Sasha. Thanks so much for joining me for this yoga to improve your posture. Let's begin lying down on our mat. You can come down onto your back and bend your knees, place the soles of your feet on the floor. We'll begin by just relaxing our back into the floor. Take a few deep breaths. I recommend you breathe in and out through your nose, but breathe in whatever way you can sustain. And as you breathe and relax your spine here, notice how your body feels, in particular, your back. Notice which parts of your back are touching the floor. So today, throughout this yoga practice, we will work to improve our alignment, the way our body is stacked, and we'll also work to improve our mobility, finding more range of movement, and our awareness. All these things really contribute to having good posture. So we'll start to move our pelvis. If you like, you can put your hands on your hips here to really feel that movement. You'll tip your tailbone, your hips forward, so a little space comes into your lower back. I can place my hand underneath my lower back now, and then reverse that. Place the lower back onto the floor. Now I can't place my hand there, and it's like I'm tipping my pelvis under. So feeling like you're sticking your bottom out, little space in the lower back, and then tucking your bottom under, lower back connects to the floor. Take that a few sets, trying to really focus on how this movement feels. So we're trying to increase our range of motion through this movement, but also really build our awareness so we know what each position feels like. A lot of posture really comes from the hips, so we want to be aware of how our hips are aligned. And then we'll come back into the center now. Right in the middle, we're finding our neutral pelvis. It's what we call it, where there's a really small natural curve in your lower back, but you're not in that extreme position in either direction. Now we'll shift side to side. Draw one hip down towards the floor and then the other, just rocking your hips from right to left. And I'm trying to avoid bringing my knees side to side. Really isolate this movement into your pelvis. Good, and then we'll try to center that so we're even from right to left side. From there, just bring your knees to your chest. You can relax your lower back onto the floor as you do that. Feel free to rock side to side. Stretching open that lower back. Maybe giving it a little massage as you shift from right to left. If you were shifting, bring that back to the center. Now hover your knees over your hips. You'll find a 90-degree angle through your hips and your knees. Just place your hands down onto the floor, press your palms into the floor, and try to connect your lower back to the ground. Remove any of that space by tipping your pelvis under. You'll use your core to achieve this. Now you might want to stay right here if this is a bit of a challenge to maintain that lower back on the floor, just stay here. Or if it's feeling okay, add this movement where we tap the foot down towards the floor and up, other foot down and up. The goal here as you tap alternating feet is to maintain that lower back connection. And we're activating the core here, specifically the transverse abdominis, which are the lower, deeper set of muscles that are really important for stabilizing. They're really good for supporting our posture. We'll do a few more sets each side. And then once you're even from right to left, you can relax again, bring your knees up to your chest. This time, grab on behind your thighs. We're gonna roll forward and back along our spine. If this hurts for any reason, just get up and meet me on your seat in a different way, but give this a try and around the back. Rolling forward and back along the spine. It's a little massage for the back. My back just cracked. And notice if there's any kind of harsh clunks, really try to round and smooth it out. Keep your core engaged. We'll come all the way up to sit, toes touched on the floor. Now lengthen your spine. Relax your shoulders open, just 3 breaths here. 2 and 3. Bring your legs around. We'll come to hands and knees now. Good. Arching and curving the spine. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. Moving like this on the pace of your own breath. Now you can notice that we are doing the same tilting and curving of our pelvis that we just did on our back. Now we're here on hands and knees and adding the whole spine. Now let's come back into the center. Again, we're looking for that kind of neutral pelvis position. Lengthen through the rest of the spine. Core is slightly engaged to maintain that support of the back. We'll place the right hand to the back of the head. Open the elbow towards the ceiling as you twist your chest open, and then cross that elbow to the opposite wrist, twisting down. We'll add the breath, inhaling to twist open, exhaling to cross down. Take this on your own pace. Now this is opening up the upper back, which is super important and often neglected. We don't twist that much in our daily life, and this movement is really important for a healthy spine. Let's take one more set. Next time you open up, you can pause there and then just release yourself back into the center. Good. We'll tuck our toes under before we do the second side and just take a breath in down dog. Here in down dog, make sure you keep your knees slightly bent. Work on lengthening your back rather than placing your heels to the floor. So if you look at me, it's the difference between this and that. Keep the knees bent, lengthen the spine. Maintaining that position of your spine, now you can shift your weight side to side, bending and stretching through the knees. Good, we'll come back down into all fours. Let's take that twist on the second side. Bring the left hand to the back of the head, open the chest, elbow up, and then crossing down, elbow to wrist. Inhale as you open, exhale down. Continue on your own breath here. Good. Try to coordinate to the pace of your breath. Breathing deeply as you do these movements is going to make it much more effective. And keep your awareness into how this feels. Remember, we're training our awareness as well. Next time you bring the elbow up, pause there, and then come back through the center. Let's return to our cat and cow for a moment. But this time, loosen it up and move your spine in all directions. I'm moving my head, letting my shoulders move, my ribs, my hips. I think a misconception is that posture is something still or static that we're going for. Really, it's quite dynamic, and we want to be able to have a full range of motion and be able to go in and out of different positions with ease. It's not just one position we're after. So find that full range of motion through your spine and torso here. And then let's come back together into downward facing dog. Now we'll roll the spine forward, lift up on your toes, curve your back as you come forward into a plank pose. And then back to down dog. So it's like you're rippling through your spine from the lower back, middle back, upper back, and head. You're here finally straight, back to down dog. Take another 2 sets. Good. Next time you ripple forward, we'll pause there, bring the knees down, lower down onto your belly. Hands are in on either side of your ribs. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, come back down. Try that again. Keep those elbows in close. Inhale up. Exhale down. Once more. Maybe a little higher this time. Inhale up. Exhale down. And let's come back into all fours. From here, we'll step the right foot forward. You can adjust so the hand comes in between, or the foot rather, comes in between your hands, and then walk yourself up onto your knee. You're in this kneeling position. Tuck your tailbone under. You're going to tip that pelvis forward so you feel a nice stretch on the front of the left hip. Just take a few breaths here. And this hip flexor is a great place to stretch out, because sometimes if the hip flexors are super tight, that can kind of bring the pelvis into an undesirable position. So we want to make sure they're nice and open. From there, trying to keep that pelvis slightly tucked under, we'll bring the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift the knee here into this low lunge. Take a breath here, then step forward, forward fold, relax down. Inhale, come halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. 2 more times. Inhale, come up high enough so that your back really stretches and lengthens, flat back. Exhale, down. Once more, inhale, halfway up, shoulders back, chest is open. Exhale, down. Inhale all the way up to stand, arms up. Exhale, palms down through the center. Place your hands on your hips. Let's do those hip movements we did sitting or on the back, and now in the standing orientation. Feel free to close your eyes so you really feel it in your body. Tilting forward and back. Again, range of motion and awareness working here. Then back to the center. Let's bring them side to side, shifting your hips right to left. You might feel a little stretch on the outside of the hip as you do this. And then we'll bring that back to the center. Weight is even between right and left foot. And you have this bone in the back called a tailbone. The front is your pubic bone. If your hips are displaced, they'll either be pointing back or front. Try to have them pointing straight down in the middle so you're in that neutral position. Good. Lengthening the tailbone down. Slight lift through the front of the belly. Press your feet down into the floor. As you inhale, grow taller. Top of the head reaches up. As arms reach up, then exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. We'll step the right foot back. Place that right knee on the floor. Come up into this kneeling position. Pelvis under to stretch the front of the hip. Good. Taking big breaths here. Good. Keep your pelvis aiming in this position as you come forward, hands down, back toes under, back knee lifts. Take a breath in this lunge. Good, then hands down, lift your hips up, step back, downward facing dog. Good, we'll come forward into plank, then just put your knees on the ground. Let's bring the shoulder blades together and then apart. So I'm not doing a cat and cow. I'm trying to isolate movement in my shoulder blades to move them together and apart while keeping my spine lengthened. And I'll show you from a few other angles. It's like shoulders apart and together, or from the back, it looks like this. So continue like that. A few more sets. Trying to not bend my elbows. Good. So a few more times. Often people say bring your shoulders down and back, which can be a good suggestion in some circumstances. However, we don't need to do that 100% of the time, really. We want this mobility and freedom for the shoulder blade to move rather than it being stuck and jammed in one position. Good. Let's take that back to downward facing dog. Forward inhale. Exhale, lower. Now, all the way on the ground, let's bring the hands behind us, either into this wide V, or you can interlace the hands together. Roll the shoulders back, and inhale, lift your chest, knees, and feet off the floor. Good. Breathe here. We're strengthening the back and the whole back chain of the body. Take a few more deep breaths. Good. One more inhale, lift up, higher. Exhale, release down. Bring your hands on either side of the ribs. And let's come back through all fours. Now knees together, feet together. Take a child's pose with your arms behind your hips, palms face up. Good. Release your spine here. In this version of child's pose, it's a little more rounded, which can help open the space in between your vertebrae. So really relax your forehead down, relax your hips towards your heels, and take deep breaths. Feel your inhale expand, especially through the back part of your lungs, and really soften in on your exhale. Good. Another breath or two. Slowly bring your hands forward. We'll come back up through all fours. Last time back in down dog. And then step yourself forward up to your forward fold. Keep your knees slightly bent as you hang over. Just shake out your head yes and no. Really release through the spine. And then we'll take a slow roll up. So rolling from the bottom of your spine, your pelvis, your lower back, middle, upper. Your head is the last thing to come up. As you come up, you can close your eyes. Just check into your body. Again, try to feel where your hips are. Find that neutral pelvis. Stack your shoulders right over your hips. Your feet down into the floor. Press your feet slightly down. Lengthen through the top of your head. And just breathe another few breaths. Feel your body supported, but if there's any extra tension, maybe in your face, your jaw, see if you can relax that. Supported without tense. Good. As you're ready, gently open your eyes. Hey, beautiful. Awesome work today. Of course, I don't think this yoga flow is the one and only thing that's going to fix your posture, but I think it's a great starting place to build that awareness of your body, of where proper alignment is, work on some mobility so your body can get there, and then a little bit of strength to maintain it. So this is also best done on a consistent manner whenever you're trying to teach your body things, building the skill of awareness, building the skill of good posture. One time isn't going to give you the best results. It is best done consistently. But thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, I would love if you would like and subscribe. That really helps support my channel, and it helps push these videos out to other people that might benefit. If you know someone personally who might need this posture yoga, send it to a friend. If you have questions, I'd love to hear from you and answer those questions, so you can comment below or request another future video. So thank you again, and I hope you have a great day.